Text. Men in Focus. Chapter 8. In Practice. Our watch acknowledges the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners of the land on which this video was produced. We pay our respects to all traditional owners past and present, and recognize the continuing connection Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have to land, culture, knowledge and language for over 65,000 years, and their leadership in preventing violence against women. Our watch works to prevent violence against all women. We use the word women inclusively, meaning both cisgender and transgender women. The presenters of this video, Natalie Russell and Cameron McDonald, stand together in the studio and speak to the camera.
Hi, I'm Natalie Russell. I'm a Sector Engagement Lead at Our Watch.
Text. Natalie Russell she/her, Sector Engagement Lead, Our Watch.
And I'm Cameron McDonald. I'm also a Sector Engagement Lead at Our Watch and the lead author of the Men in Focus Practice Guide.
Text. Cameron McDonald he, him, Sector Engagement Lead, Our Watch. Text. What's in the Men in Focus Practice Guide?
The Men in Focus Practice Guide builds on the evidence review through consultation with people working with men and boys.
Text. The Men in Focus Practice Guide builds on the evidence review.
It incorporates practical strategies for working to prevent men's violence against women and transform outdated masculine stereotypes.
Text. Practical strategies. Transform stereotypes.
Men in Focus in Practice embeds theory while showcasing examples of effective initiatives, case studies, practitioner reflections, and resources that can be used to effectively motivate men and boys to get involved in prevention.
Text. Effective initiatives, case studies, practitioner reflections, resources.
It builds the case for why they should get involved and how they can play important roles in preventing men's violence against women.
Text. Why, how. Text. The 5 guiding principles.
The backbone of the practice guide are the 5 guiding principles.
The 5 guiding principles are drawn from the evidence about what works for effective and ethical practice.
Text. Effective and ethical practice.
They are interconnected and seek to address some of the challenges we experience in this work. They can be used as the building blocks for developing primary prevention initiatives with men and boys and tailored to the needs and context of your work.
The 5 guiding principles infographic animates on screen. Text. Guiding principles. Intersectional. Strengths-based. Gender transformative. Maintaining accountability. Solutions across all levels. Text. Intersectional approaches.
Intersectional approaches to this work are important for honouring and connecting with people's different life experiences and circumstances.
Text. Embed intersectional approaches.
People, including some men, can experience both privilege and discrimination at the same time. This is because gender isn't the only aspect of identity that impacts the way people experience the world.
People icons animate onto the screen, followed by a range of coloured icons, representing different forms of discrimination. These include a green transphobia icon, a red ableism icon, a pink ageism icon, a blue homophobia icon, a pink colonialism icon, a yellow racism icon, a navy blue classism icon.
Other aspects include race, sexuality, socioeconomic background, physical ability, neurodiversity, faith, geographic location, migrant status, and age.
Text. Race, sexuality, socio-economic background, physical ability, neurodiversity, faith, geographic location, migrant status, age.
For example, Aboriginal men are at times treated differently and discriminated against by the justice system and in the media, more frequently than non-Aboriginal men are.
Gay men still experience discrimination in some aspects of their life due to homophobia, in ways that heterosexual men don't. In this way, it's important to understand that it is structures and systems of oppression and discrimination that cause these inequalities, and not the individual identities themselves.
2 people icons animate onto the screen, along with connected icons, representing different forms of discrimination, including ageism, homophobia, ableism, transphobia, and classism. Text. Power. Privilege.
Therefore, it is structures and systems that we are focused on changing, not individuals.
Intersectional approaches acknowledge the harm that some men have experienced due to these structures of inequality. They incorporate trauma-informed approaches that honour the diversity of lived experiences, Build collaboration and empathy, and don't shame.
Text. Trauma-informed. Build collaboration, empathy.
Good intersectional practice will involve co-design with communities to ensure initiatives are community-led, culturally responsive, and community building.
Text. Community-led, culturally responsive, community building.
Strong relationships and genuine partnerships can encourage two-way learning to strengthen prevention initiatives.
Text. Gender transformative approaches.
Gender transformative practice is critical to primary prevention efforts. Through this approach, we can examine, question, and transform outdated gender stereotypes, relations, and structures.
Text. Transform outdated gender stereotypes.
This approach actively challenges gender norms, which are the unwritten rules about how to behave in society that are harmful to women, men, and people of all genders.
A man icon, inside a box, appears on the screen.
In our work with men and boys, gender transformation promotes more expansive, more inclusive, and less limiting ideas of masculinity that are based on equality and respect.
The box disappears from around the man icon. Text. Equality, respect.
To do this, we need to draw attention to the ways that men and boys are socialised and pressured to conform to particular ideas of how to be a man. We need to challenge binary categories and binary thinking wherever we can. We avoid reinforcing rigid, stereotypical, or outdated ideas of gender and masculinity in our efforts to engage men. We should always be empathetic and inclusive in our approaches.
For example, saying this is how real men should behave and this is the ideal way women should look and be and the roles they should play in families and in society. We avoid intentionally or unintentionally reiterating those sorts of stereotypes. It's also important that our work moves beyond awareness raising and we act to transform ideas and structures of gender and other forms of discrimination and oppression that limit how we can be in the world. For example, it's a good start that some workplaces are introducing parental leave policies, encouraging men and secondary caregivers to contribute more equally to childcare in the home.
A photograph of a pram and a smiling man carrying a smiling child on his back appear alongside Cameron.
But we need to simultaneously transform the social norms and stereotypes that stop many men from actually accessing this leave.
Text. Transform the social norms and stereotypes.
And using other flexible work options.
Text. Strengths-based approaches.
Strengths-based approaches are accessible.
Text. Strengths-based approaches.
And work with men where they are at. They connect with the types of positive values, beliefs, and hopes they hold.
Text. Values, beliefs, hopes.
That can support the prevention of men's violence against women. They raise men's awareness of the issues and provide them with the knowledge and skills required to become advocates and allies.
Text. Awareness, knowledge, skills.
Strengths-based approaches can highlight the diversity of experiences, values, and masculinities that men hold that are outside of masculine stereotypes.
Many men recognise that outdated masculine stereotypes are harmful and constraining. They are receptive to messages about the benefits of alternative forms of masculinity and moving beyond gender norms and expectations entirely.
Text. Challenge outdated stereotypes.
There is strong agreement that men can play a role in preventing men's violence against women, with a majority being supporters or persuadable to these ideas. Strengths-based approaches with positive messaging will help garner greater support in your work with men and boys.
Photographs of a range of different men appear.
Strengths-based approaches involve engaging and working with all people, including women, because we can all uphold and conform to ideas of gender that are harmful or constraining.
Effective prevention efforts encourage men to connect with their values and their emotional selves to inspire them to take action. A strengths-based approach can mean engaging men and boys in safe and familiar environments, meeting men where they're at.
Photographs of a hand holding a smartphone, a hand holding a football and an arm holding a hard hat animate on screen with text. Safe and familiar environments.
Using language and messaging that is respectful, gender transformative, accessible and meaningful to them.
Man, woman and gender diverse people icons animate on screen.
It's done in ways that are trauma-informed so that it's simultaneously healing and community building.
Text. Healing and community building.
It promotes and encourages positive alternatives for how men can be, how they can express themselves as full emotional beings, what they can aspire to, and how they can have healthy relationships.
Woman and gender diverse people icons appear on screen.
This includes promoting peer relationships with other men that are based on equality and respect for women and people of all genders.
Animated lines connect the man icons together. The lines disappear.
Positive male role models can be powerful when their message is gender transformative and accountable to women.
Effective approaches help to build men's empathy for the day-to-day life experiences of women and gender diverse people.
Text, empathy.
We often see how men's eyes can be opened to a whole new world of understanding when they look beyond unhelpful gender stereotypes. And this heightened appreciation for the experiences of others benefits them and their relationships in the long run.
Text, maintaining accountability to women.
Because women experience violence overwhelmingly perpetrated by men, men must work with women to end gender-based violence.
Text, working together to end gender-based violence.
Women have been leading this work for a long time. As such, there are women and women's organisations that bring a wealth of experience, knowledge, expertise and insight that we can learn from.
Woman icons appear on screen. Text, experience, knowledge, expertise, insight.
Men's allyship in preventing men's violence against women is centred on working together with women.
Text, men's allyship.
This involves listening to and remaining accountable to women.
Man and women symbols appear together.
Standing with, not for women. Having constructive and respectful relationships, both personally and professionally.
Some of the ways we can maintain accountability in prevention practice is to consult and partner with women and women's organisations to ensure women's insights and concerns are honoured in our work.
Text, consult, partner.
This should include women from diverse backgrounds and organisations representative of diverse experiences.
It means creating space for speakers and facilitators of all genders and sexualities. Most importantly for men, it means doing the work on ourselves.
Text, doing the work on ourselves.
On a personal level, becoming more aware of and addressing our own ingrained stereotypes, privileges, sexisms, and blind spots.
Text, stereotypes, privileges, sexisms, blind spots.
Professionally, it involves engaging in reflective practice and thinking how we might work differently to ensure a diversity of voices and perspectives are included in our work.
Text, solutions across all levels of society.
Outdated masculine stereotypes are still embedded and preferenced across all levels of society
Text, solutions across all levels.
and impact our lives in countless ways. That's why, to end gender inequality and gender-based violence, we can't just address individual causes of violence against women in isolation.
The socio-ecological model infographic appears next to Natalie. It shows 4 stacked circles, labelled with text: individual and relationship, organisational and community, system and institutional, societal.
Work with individuals and groups of men around attitudinal and behaviour change will continue to be important, but our efforts need to be so much more than that.
Text, attitudinal and behaviour change.
Prevention solutions should challenge and transform broader social norms.
An education icon appears with the text: challenge and transform gendered norms. A media icon appears.
Create more progressive policies.
A Parliament House icon appears with text: progressive policies.
Encourage positive, systemic and institutional reforms, and drive change at community and organisational levels.
A lanyard icon appears. A football icon appears with text: community and organisational change.
For example, we can tell boys that they are allowed to cry.
Text, boys can cry.
We can let boys play with dolls.
Text, play with dolls.
We can encourage and support men to be more able to express themselves emotionally and seek support for their mental health when they need it.
Text, reach out for help.
We can encourage more men to work in the caring professions.
A collage of photographs appears on screen, showing different men and boys engaged in various activities, including cleaning, cooking, and educating.
And to take on unpaid caring responsibilities in the home. We can change workplace policies to support and encourage men to do this more. And we can address the gender pay gap that sees caring professions and other more feminised industries paid less than male-dominated professions. We need to challenge and transform outdated and harmful masculine stereotypes across all levels of society.
Text. Important considerations for working with men.
The practice guide offers tips on how practitioners can prepare themselves for this work, like understanding your own biases and knowing your stuff, knowing the theory, and how you can maintain your practice in nourishing and accountable ways. This includes how to work with men in ways that are collaborative and not collusive or coercive, and guidance on how to understand, plan for, and respond to backlash and resistance. When men play a key role in challenging and transforming gender inequality,
Man icons appear, followed by woman icons and gender-diverse people icons.
we can create a world where all women are respected equally and live free from violence.
Text. Challenging gender inequality. Text. Supports available. 1-800-RESPECT. National Sexual Assault, Domestic Family Violence Counseling Service. 1-800-737-732. Men's Referral Service. Operated by No to Violence. 1-300-766-6491. Australian Human Rights Commission. 1-300-656-419. 13 Yarn. 1392-76. Sane. We're people like you. 1-800-187-263. Q Life. 1-800-184527. This video is a part of a suite of Men in Focus practice resources produced by Our Watch and supported by the Australian Government Department of Social Services. Visit ourwatch.org.au. Our Watch. Preventing violence against women.